Good morning, friends. Welcome to my channel. Today's violin lesson is on Wohlfahrt, opus 45, Etude number 26. It's a fairly short little etude and quite simple in certain ways. I think as a beginner coming up, what will be most difficult in this etude is that it's constantly playing intervals. You're actually reading intervals. For example, in measure 1, you start out with the third finger down a first finger, then 2, 3, and then you have to go to the E string with the fourth finger. So I think for most of you this won't be that difficult, but for some players that these constant skipping intervals will be a challenge, just reading and interpreting the notes. As far as any changes that I made, generally when I have for example, measure 2, in the third and fourth notes, instead of playing an open A, I play a fourth finger. So I end up with 2 notes on the D string. First 2 notes in the measure, second measure on the A string, next 2 notes on the D string, and then back to the A string. And I did that pretty consistently throughout the piece. Wherever I came to that open A, I would play a fourth finger. Most of the other fingers, I think I used everything that was in the part. The other interesting, Wohlfahrt's so good with this. He gives you this, what sort of like a hemiola bowing, where the bowing goes across the measure, then starts another bow, and then you go across the measure. So it's just got that other side of your brain working on this idea of bowing being separate from left hand. You got left hand difficulties, especially with all these skips, as I've mentioned, intervals, various intervals throughout the piece, and then you've got this bowing that continues. And of course, a player, of my experience, the bowing going across the measure, I noted, okay, I have to register that every time, and that's okay. It's not a problem, but it's just part of the difficulties. Notice also for you beginners, at the end of the piece, we have RIT written there, ritardando, slow down at the end, and to make the piece. And then we got a nice last note. If you know how to vibrato, you do your vibrato on the last note. Okay, so I hope this is a very interesting exercise. I like this one. It's very simple, and my students finally, it's not that technically difficult. So it's sort of like a little oasis in the desert of all these etudes that Mr. Wohlfahrt is giving you and teaching you techniques. This is really a nice one. Most of my students really like this. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day, and enjoy it.